y'all, thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Potomac. This is season 7, episode 6. They still trying it. So let's get into it. Let's get a little spicy, just a little. I got 3 things to talk about. The first one would be Candace was at the Soul Train Awards. She looked really nice. She actually did look nice. The only thing I didn't like was her hair. I don't really like what's it called? Like the genie in the bottle hairstyle, like a half ponytail. No, not half, side ponytail. That's just not like a hairstyle that I'm into on anybody. But she looked nice, and it was nice to see her out there. I think Candace is doing the right thing when it comes to Real Housewives. Series in the sense of like the franchises, where like she's taking this platform and she's running with it. Like 3 people stand out to me when I think about people taking the platform and running with it. One would be Bethany, even though she get on my nerves and I do not like that lady. But she took the platform of Real Housewives of New York and created an empire. Like Skinny Girl is around the states, like it's all throughout. I don't even know if it's international, but I know it's all up and throughout this country. Like if she put Skinny Girl on everything. So she did the right thing. And the next one would be Nene. Like Nene started from the bottom. We didn't even know who Nene was, and she was able to make a name for herself. She did a little bit of acting. She was on Broadway. Like she really made a name for herself. Girl, even in the Smithsonian, in the African American Museum. And then Teresa went to jail and came back and still was making a bag. And people know who Teresa is. So I think Candace is doing the right thing by taking this platform and making it what she wants. She said she wanted to do acting, and she said she wanted to do singing. And clearly she's taking it by storm, and I hope she is successful with it. Next, we're going to talk about her husband. So while she was at the Soul Train Awards, Chris was out at home on IG Live answering questions from the fans. And this is coming from the Neighborhood Talk. And the title goes, "Oop, RHOP Chris Bassett speaks on Gisele Bryan's accusations against him this season. If she did that for a storyline, that's really sad, and I feel sorry for her. If that's the best you have to offer, maybe this isn't your platform." So I'm going to play the audio for you, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts.
So we get to your room and there's no glam in there. There's nobody in there. You are an adult. And a very vocal one at that. You have no problem holding back how you feel. So when you open the door and there's nobody in there, and you know that you have this feeling, this thing that you don't like, why didn't you say in that very moment, the second you open the door, "Oh, there's nobody in here. Hey, you know what? There's nobody here. I don't really feel comfortable talking about this. Can we do this another time?" I mean, you asked me to leave to go check and see if they were in. I left immediately then. So I don't know why. Why wouldn't you just say no right then? That's where I'm hung up on. Like, this is an issue that you have, a feeling that you have that I don't know about. Much like I have never told you I'm very uncomfortable with you talking about my penis every season. But you do it. But I've never said anything. So I can't be mad at it because I've never said anything. I'm not going to ask her for an apology. But I've never said anything. But again, if you really felt that way, like you said something to Robin that night, that's what you said. So why didn't you call Candace the next day, the next week, 2 weeks later, a month later? Why did you wait 5 months until there was a camera rolling to say that? Why? You know, everybody talks, I'm not going to talk about that either, but whatever. And I see a lot of, she needed a storyline. Yeah. If she did that for a storyline, that's really sad. And I feel sorry for her. Like, if that's the best you have to offer, maybe this isn't your platform. I don't know. Clearly, I thought I knew somebody that I was friendly with, that we were friends. But clearly what I thought was Not Gisele made your penis a friend of. Jesus Christ.
So I don't have an issue with what Chris is saying. I think if Gisele is allowed to disparage him on such a large platform, which is Real Housewives of Potomac, then I think he's allowed to disparage her and try to advocate for himself. At the end of the day, he co-signed what I've been feeling. You can't really be mad at somebody for making you uncomfortable if you don't tell them that you made them uncomfortable. He doesn't like the fact that Gisele been talking about his penis since he's been on this show. But he, like he said, I can't really be upset with her because I haven't told her that. And I also think that this is like really bad territory for Gisele, because no one is saying that she's not allowed to be uncomfortable, but the way in which she is going about it shows that you really did have malice intent with it, and you look like a bad person. And that's on you, bruh. And the last thing is Miss Karen Hugert. So Karen posted this on Twitter. She said, often imitated, never duplicated. April 2020, watch what happens live, hashtag RHOP. So I was like, what is she talking about? So then I saw one of my mutuals who is like a huge Karen Hugert fan, and I took their name out of it because I don't know if they want to be featured. But they go on to say, Karen is so petty, y'all. And it's a picture of Sharice's confessional look and Karen with the picture she posted of herself, and they're both in the same dress. Now, it is petty, but the truth of the matter is we don't know who wore it first, because at the end of the day, depending on when they filmed confessional, Sharice could have had the outfit first, but we all know people riding with the grand dame, so it's petty. Of course, people are going to see it. And Sharice don't really look that good compared to Karen in this point. But I'm saying maybe it's the lighting. It's the makeup too. The makeup too dark on her face. But let's get into this review. All right. So the episode opens up where it left off, where we're still at the mountains. Well, not mountains, but I guess in the mountains at the winery. And Robin's stupid. I'm sorry, y'all. It does not make any sense why Robin went and sat in the van, put on her Uggs and sat there with a blanket. Honestly, Robin don't have any money to take a Uber back to civilization. And here is why. Robin just got money. You're not going to tell me that Robin has at least like $200+ to drop on an Uber, because the women were just complaining about how it took like 2 hours to get to the actual winery. So what you're not going to do is spend $200+ on an Uber to get back to where you were from. And I think Robin lives in Virginia, and if it's 2 hours, then that means that that winery was either in Virginia or it was in Maryland. Either way, a 2-hour drive is probably going to cost you upwards to $200+, especially if you got to get on the highway, and during what time, like hour, if it's rush hour traffic, that meter keeps going. Even if you are in the HOV lane, like, you're going to have to pay somebody money, and Robin just got money, so you're not gonna tell me Robin got like $200 just to drop on an Uber trip. She sat in the car, and I think she's stupid for that, because honestly, I would have just ignored Wendy and sat at that table, got me another glass of wine, and ate all the assortment of food on that table. I think they said they had crab dip, and I love crab dip, so I'd have told that man, pour me another glass of crab dip. I'd have put something on my plate, and I would just pay Wendy Dust and acted like she was the invisible man, and I don't see her. So I was just like, girl, not you sitting in the Sprinter hungry, just on your phone. Stupid. Just stupid, bro. Stupid. So back inside the winery, you got everybody else, and Ashley just drops tea that Chris was pushing up on her friend at the spring party that Karen had. We find out that person is Deborah. And y'all, like I said on my last review, I wasn't going to say like who Deborah looked like, but I saw on Twitter that someone took a screenshot of Deborah's IG, and Deborah already got Real Housewives of Potomac in her bio, and then hashtag RHOP. And I'm like, oh, you wanted time. Even though you were on the show for like 7 minutes, you're thirsty. And I've said, you know what? I can say what I want to say. Deborah looked like Sid off of Toy Story, the first one. Them eyebrows and everything. I was like, girl, don't nobody want you. And I don't want to be mean to that lady. I really don't. But at first, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt that maybe like Ashley was like scapegoating onto her. But when I saw that she put that in her bio, I was like, girl. So you playing games too. Okay, Sid. Okay. 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 So Candace looks pissed. Like Candace is over it. She's just like, really, Ashley, like you could have came to me. And what's funny to me is a lot of people were talking about how they feel like Ashley did do this to be vindictive, but not for the reason of Candace letting her know about Michael during season 5 with that information. And the thing about it is, even though Candace told Ashley on screen, like on during the show, Candace even like expressed online that she was like, I had to. Like the producer was in my room with me the moment I got the email from my friend with all the information about Michael. And the producer saw my phone and basically was like, oh, y'all got to talk about this. You need to give this to her. So she said, I wanted to do it in a respectful way. And that's why I pulled in Gisele. So Ashley can miss me with that. And like I said, if this is your reason to get a lick back from the man that has consistently showed you that he does not respect you, then you're dumb. Like you are big dumb. Because it's one thing to have an open marriage, and I don't even think having an open marriage is a bad thing. As long as everybody in the party, like in the marriage, understands the rules and agree to the rules, then as long as nobody's getting hurt and everybody is fully aware and consents to it, do you but the thing about it is oftentimes Ashley is looking like she don't know what is going on, like she doesn't understand what Michael can do and what he can't do. And I really feel like you're standing up from someone that obviously makes you look stupid every chance he gets. You're, like I said, you're big dumb. You're really big dumb. So Candace lets it be known, like, girl, since we playing these games, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how your man pays a high-end escort male to suck his wee-wee and all that stuff. And she said the man's name. And Ashley did get caught off guard for a minute because she paused and was like, and then she jumped over it and then was like, oh, so you're deflecting, Candace? And Candace was like, no, I'm not. Mommy, she was like, that's not, like, me and my husband don't play these games. Like, that's you and your husband. Your marriage is fraudulent. Mine's not. And the thing about it is, legit, I didn't even finish my point. A lot of people were saying that Ashley was upset that Candace had that house. Like, because that was the first time Ashley was at Candace's house, and everyone was like, the way Ashley was like, oh, this is nice. Like, she was so surprised that Candace was able to afford this home that a lot of people were like, they felt like Ashley went out of her way to be this, like, to be spiteful and vindictive in this manner because she was jealous of the fact that Candace has this home, and she over here having to do backflips and cartwheels to beg this man who she thought had all this money to like really get her a home. And I was like, that probably could be it, because that's all Ashley keeps saying that she wants is a house for her 2 kids. And you got to do all these, like, jump through all these hoops and these hurdles just to get it. And you love to proclaim that Michael's a millionaire. He might be a millionaire, but he don't want to give his millions to you. That says a lot about you. And this supposed escape plan that y'all thought she had, that I've been telling y'all since last season that she ain't never had. So Candace gets completely irritated and she gets up and leaves. You then see her and Gisele have a sit down on the balcony. One thing I didn't like was Wendy being chummy with Ashley, checking on Ashley, talking about, well, you're my ride home. I just want to see if you're okay. Girl, why did you not go check on Candace? And that's why I've always said that Candace doesn't really have any friends on this show except Askala, and Askala's not here anymore, because Wendy to me is not a friend that I would want to have on this show, because I was actually on Gisele and Robin's side the beginning of last season, because it did seem like Wendy did a 180 with her personality just to be more palatable for the fans. And that to me is somebody I would not want to be friends with on reality TV, because fans are fickle. You see them now. All last season, people were saying Wendy was annoying, that they didn't like Wendy, that they compared her to Arsenio Hall, said she looked like a man. They were talking about how she had a cursed bloodline, that like her and Eddie don't have like, you know, a good relationship because her family is poisoned, all this stuff. But now all of a sudden it's like everyone's flipped the switch, and now it's all like, oh, Wendy's this, Wendy's amazing, Wendy's this and this. And it's like, fans are fickle. You're better off just being yourself and rocking with the people who have been rocking with you, versus those who decide to be like bandwagon fans because all of a sudden they see clearly when in the beginning you weren't really doing nothing bad to begin with. So I just didn't like that she was sitting at that table clacking, clinking glass with Ashley and drinking, when I'm like, she just aired out Candace's man in a sense, and you could tell she was being nasty and vindictive. As smart as Wendy is, like, you're not going to tell me she didn't know what was going on. And I just felt like, that's sus to me. If I was Candace, I'd keep my good eyes on Wendy. So, like I said, Candace actually goes out to the balcony with Gisele, and Candace gets straight to it. She asks Gisele, she's like, can we talk? And then Giselle's like, oh, look at the view. She said, yeah, it's a nice view. Can we talk? I said, oh, girl. And you can tell Gisele wasn't ready. So, y'all, this one piece of hair is bothering me. You could tell Gisele wasn't ready. So they sit down at the table, and Candace is like, I want to be clear, because the last time we talked, I left. I want to understand what really happened. You said that my husband made you uncomfortable, and Giselle's like, yes, he did. Baby, when I tell you Giselle's story keeps morphing, and what I've noticed is anytime she gets with certain people, she switches up she switches up the story. When she first introduced this story to us with Robin, she said that she thought Chris was trying to be a sneaky link. She also felt like Chris was trying to get see if she was with it, to see if she wanted to do something with her. She also said that Chris came up to me and said he wanted to have a conversation, and I told Chris, why don't we go to my room, because I thought my glam was going to be in there. Now all of a sudden you're saying you didn't ask him to come to the room with you, but no, you did say come to the room, like, let's go to my room. That's what you said the first time you told Rob and Gisele. Then when she got in front of Karen asked specific questions like, did he touch you? Was he inappropriate? And did you tell Candace? You said he didn't touch me. He didn't say anything inappropriate. When I told him to like go check to see if they were calling me back on stage, he immediately did that. So what was the reason for you bringing this to TV, ma'am? It's like each time you talk to people, your story changes. Your story changes. So now you're in front of Candace. When Candace said, do you think my husband had malice intent? You say, I don't know. Now you're telling her, well, I didn't want the optics to look bad because I'm in a room with a man that isn't mine, and I wasn't comfortable with that. So then when Candace asks you, do you think my husband had malice intent? Why all of a sudden now you don't know? And then you getting up uncomfortable when she uses the word lure, because that is what you made it seem. You're saying that Kyle even said he didn't like the fact that he said bye to me, so he knew I wasn't in the room with you. You did this. And then for them to be like, Candace is being dramatic. No, Candace is trying to lay out clear-cut information and be concise, because at this point, Gisele, you playing games, and this is like a dangerous game to play with somebody. Like honestly, like on some real, I really don't think Gisele thought about this. I think Gisele thought this was gonna work, and thought maybe this was gonna be like a 2 episode back and forth between her and Candace. But the issue is, like, girl, You made this more than what it needed to be, because each time you get with somebody, you shift in the narrative. Like, you don't know what the hell you want this to be. You don't know what you want this to be. At first, you're saying the man made you uncomfortable. You told him, let's go to my room because I thought my glam is there. Now you're saying he's lying. You look stupid. And then when Candace said, you are the reason why women aren't believed when they come out about sexual assault, she's right. And as much as people don't like that, she's right. Like, we're not going to act like when a lady or a woman or whoever comes out about being assaulted by someone, and specifically a man, that the first thing is like, they're not believed. They're not believed. And the first thing men say, well, women lie about it all the time. And we have data that shows that most of the time women do not lie about it. I think the percentage is like maybe 3% or something like that about women lying about being assaulted in that manner. But men always cling to that one situation where that person was lying about being assaulted. Like, it's wild. And it's like, Gisele, you're dumb, because now you have made yourself like kind of like something that somebody could pick out the blue. Well, you remember when Gisele was lying about it. Like, you made yourself look bad. And y'all want to be mad at Chris for defending himself and Candace for coming at your neck. But at the end of the day, this is a story that could destroy her family, specifically his reputation. Like, he works in the food and hospitality business. Don't nobody want to be working with no known creep. Especially around no food, because I would think you would try to put something in my food. So Gisele is like clearly like shocked that Candace said what she said about people not believing victims when they come like her being the reason why people don't believe victims. And she leaves. They both kind of disperse and they leave. And then what really pissed me off about Gisele in this moment, because I love the fact that Candace said, you're not going to tap dance on my intelligence. And she called Gisele, see you next Tuesday. And it was deserved. But what really made me be like, Gisele is nasty, is Gisele hopped up on that bus when everybody was getting ready to leave, and she was telling Robin, girl, Ashley told us that Chris was trying to pull up on her friend and he touched her butt. I said, when did Ashley say that, Gisele? So we just out here blatantly lying, lady. Like, just blatantly lying. It, like, when I tell you, a crew full of liars. A crew full of liars. This is why Mia get along with everybody so much. Karen be lying, Ashley lie, Robin lie, what's it called, Gisele lie. Crew full of liars. Because my goodness. Like, when Gisele got up on that, I rewind my computer and I was like, did Ashley say that he touched somebody? And then he was like, that he touched somebody? All she said is that her friend said that he was flirting with her. I said, oh, this lady a liar. Oh, she lied. She foul for that. I don't care what none of y'all say. Y'all can still go up for Gisele, but Gisele is foul for what she doing. I'm sorry. She is foul. She is so foul for this, bro. So foul. So let's move on to the next scene. Is of Ashley going to meet up with a lawyer. She got on the same blazer dress as Candace, except hers got the arms cut out of it. And it didn't look good on neither one of them. But I would take Candace over Ashley, because Ashley's bra was showing and it wasn't even a cute bra. I was like, girl, if you're going to wear a blazer dress, and the thing about her blazer dress was oversized. Like, you can wear an oversized blazer, kind of the way Candace had hers on, and kind of get away with it. But if you're going to wear a blazer dress with the arms cut off on it, I oftentimes think it has to be tailored to your body, because it's supposed to give a different feel. And I was just like, you got that tacky multicolored bra on. I don't like it. I don't. So they're sitting, she's sitting and she's meeting with the lawyer. And again, I say, I really don't believe that she is divorcing Michael, because in this conversation, Ashley's not making sense. That's why it doesn't make sense to me. If she was the one that filed for divorce, why is it taking you this long to obtain legal counsel? Excuse me. Why is it taking you this long? Like, like that doesn't make sense to me. I get it, maybe she was trying to use this as a ploy to get Michael to act right, but honestly I think, like I've seen a lot of people say that maybe something is about to come down the pipeline and Ashley and Michael are like moving assets or something, allegedly, because this whole storyline doesn't make sense. Ashley has known since she got with Michael that they were in an open marriage. That's why I don't think she always, like, when we thought Michael was cheating, she didn't take it that serious. But I oftentimes think that Michael still makes Ashley stupid because, even like I said previously, even if you're in an open marriage, there are rules to your open marriage. And it doesn't seem like Michael respected any of those rules. So technically he was cheating, even if their marriage was open. But she talks about the whole threesomes and all this stuff again. And then she brings up the whole LLC. And one thing I do like that the lawyer said that I was just like, that is really true. That when she was like, the hardest part about marriage is you can't control the other person. All you can do is control yourself. And I was like, that's true. That's why it's hard for a lot of people to put their trust in others, because you can't control them. Like, you can keep your end of the bargain, about your marriage, like your end of the deal, but that other person cannot, and then you left feeling like you wasted time or you feel stupid. But they then talk about the LLC. The lawyer says what everybody else has been saying, that Ashley shouldn't really be doing that. Like, the only reason buying a house with Michael in the LLC, she was like, the only way that would be a good idea is if you can get Michael to write legally on paper that this is a gift to you, even though he's funding it, because at any time, because it's his money, he could take that house from you. And I was like, girl, why not have your own? Just have your own and move on. So then they also talk about how, like, I guess because they were together for 8 years, now anything that Michael has, it's like marital property for certain things. So even if they had a prenup, I guess because they were together 8 years, they have marital property now. She then says that Michael propositioned her, saying that, like, oh, we don't really need to get lawyers involved. We could just, like, I could give you a proposal and you sign this and we agree to do that. And the lawyer was like, well, oftentimes the person with the most monetary power doesn't want to get lawyers in the courts involved because they know they're going to be put on the hook for a lot of things. And I'm just like, if Ashley signs that paper, she's a dummy. She's a dummy. But I don't think she's that dumb. I also don't think she's that smart, but I really don't think she's that dumb to actually sign this paper. She even said that she was stalling in her confessional. But at this point, I don't really believe this storyline, because she's lying as well when it comes to her storyline, like Mia. They gonna catch her in a lie they caught her in a lie when she was with Robin and Gisele, when they were trying on outfits for Miami, where they were like, well, didn't you tell us you and Michael already bought the house or put an offer down in the LLC, that 1.5 million house that she saw with her brother? And she was like, no, because she said Michael and her had a conversation and he got mad at her. And he was like, why? Because she asked him, like, oh, did you make the LLC yet? And he was like, of course not. Like, I'm not going to do anything and go behind your back and do this, and this. And I was just like, but you said the LLC was already formed. So what are you talking about? So I don't really think this divorce is happening. I think, like a lot of people have been saying, that they trying to move some stuff around because it seemed like something might be coming up on the horizon, because this storyline doesn't make sense. We then see Charisse, Jacqueline, and Mia go to the spa to get their feet done. And Mia tells them about going to Miami. She sends out the text. She talks about how, like, even though she don't like Wendy, she's going to invite her anyway. She lies to Charisse and tells Charisse that she'll be able to pick her own room. And then Jacqueline talks about how, like, Mia and her are more like sister than friends, because Jacqueline's mom actually fostered Mia at one point. And then Charisse asks Mia, like, you know, what's about your life? Like, give me, like, because she's trying to get to know her. And Mia talks about how her mom used to be on drugs and how her dad died in prison. And one thing I will say, I don't think it's wrong for Mia to share her story about, like, being a child of an addict and also, like, a convict and all that stuff. My thing is like, it's weird. Is Mia and her mom on good terms or not? Because one minute she's talking about she loved her mom. The next minute she's just telling everybody her business about her mama being a crack whore. And I was just kind of like, are you using your mom as a storyline, or like are you reiterating every time someone asks you about your life about your mom being a crackhead to punish her for like some unhealed childhood trauma, which is understandable in the sense of like what Mia has been through, but it's weird. And it's kind of like, okay, now you're coming off like an asshole because you keep saying that you and your mom are on good terms and you understand where she's coming from, but every 5 minutes you telling everybody her business. So to me, it seems like you're just trying to embarrass her. That's just me. But like I said, they going to Miami. And here's my thing. This Miami trip ain't gonna be no good. We then see Wendy and Eddie talking. We find out that I don't think she's going through with the restaurant. Honestly, I don't think she had the money to go through with the restaurant. She then talks about how grateful she is that her mom's out of the hospital. I don't know. I just think this storyline was Wendy is tired. I do understand that Wendy is trying to find herself because as a child of an immigrant, she has been pressured or had immense pressure put on her about succeeding and achieving a certain status, such as being a doctor, as a status symbol in her community and to her mom. That now that she has this reality show, she's able to branch out and do things that make her happy. My only thing is, like, I'm tired of Wendy going about this the wrong way because, like I keep saying, she just needs to focus on her candles, make that something, and then branch out to other things. But I am kind of getting tired of this storyline because you have a supportive husband, Eddie, with his fine self, telling you you don't have to do this. And you really don't. And she's smart enough to know she doesn't have to do this, but she doing it anyway. And at this point, I'm over it. So she also talks to him about the whole burn it party and how badly it went. We then have a scene where, like I said, we see Ashley, Robin, and Gisele meet up, and they're at some little boutique trying on outfits to go to Miami. Every outfit that Gisele and Robin had on looked horrible. That orange outfit, no ma'am. That like 2-piece outfit, like Hawaiian outfit Gisele had on, no ma'am. And then that tan sarong thing that Robin had on, no ma'am. Like, honestly, Gisele's fashions are so mediocre and like so early 2000s that it doesn't make sense to me when she has children who are somewhat fashionable. Like, they dress like on trend, that I think that they would tell their mom to like dress differently. But Gisele is stuck in wearing very much like early 2000s church chic. She gives very much like praise team, like, she gives praise team last Sunday outfit. If you grew up in the black church and a Baptist church, because that's my denomination, but y'all remember, like, if you do know, when it would be like, I think like Jean Sunday, and the choir would have on like nice little slack jeans and then like a nice little top and some heels on. That's what Gisele gives. She gives very much like last Sunday, Jean Sunday, where some people be wearing their jerseys to church. Gisele gives that. And then Robin just gives suburban soccer mom. That's it. So they're at this place. They start talking about Chris being on the internet and how, like, Robin talked to Candace and Candace said he's upset. And so what he said on what's it called? On Twitter that pissed off Gisele, where she was like, if I saw Chris Bassett, I would tell him F himself because I'm not a liar. And she said, Chris said, y'all really not ready for what's about to go down. Call me what you want, but a liar I am not. And if that's the path you choose, I promise you will be sorry. So then somebody said, I believe Gisele. And Chris responded to that person and said, and you would be wrong. And so now Gisele is like angry. Robin gonna say, Robin gonna say that, well, Candace probably bring it back to him more dramatic. I said, Robin, shut up, because what your husband about to go through, if he's smart, he would get ahead of that story and side with the victim real quick before his career is in the trash. So if I was you, I'd shut the hell up. Talk about she being dramatic. At the end of the day, that lady is trying to tarnish his reputation. So be quiet, Robin. Be quiet, because I like you, but you this season you've been getting on my nerves. So what happened? So they're sitting in the what's it called, in the boutique trying on clothes. They bring up the whole rumor that Candace was talking about. Ashley is like, she don't believe it, but you believe every other rumor about Chris. Yeah, you sound stupid. You know it's true. You probably know the man didn't have breakfast with him. And then, what's her name? Robin said, like, oh, I remember Candace told me this about, like, years ago. And you could tell that Gisele and Ashley were taken aback, especially Gisele, because Robin didn't tell Gisele. Because they asked Gisele in her confessional, like, do you believe the rumors? Or, like, did you know about the rumor? And she was like, no. So I said, it is what it is now. So now everyone's at the airport and they're getting ready to go to Miami. Karen is saying that this is in conjunction to her 59th birthday. She sees Charisse at the airport. She give a real fake smile at Charisse. She really don't like Charisse. And it's awkward. But they on their way to Miami. So, like I said, everyone's at the airport. They're getting ready to go to Miami. Karen ain't happy to see Charisse. But they get to Miami. And the house that they have it's not cute. It gave very much like spring break house. It gave spring break house, like that college kids would all put their money together to rent, to take some cute pictures and say they were in Miami, because you invited 10 people. And even if production did purchase this house for Mia talks too much trash about how everybody else's event is low budget and these women are broke hoes and all these things like that. For you to have 10 women go to a house with only 6 bedrooms and it seems like 4 bathrooms. Like, you talk too much trash to give us this subpar and stuff. And then, like, they were like, where's the beach? And we find out that South Beach is legit across the water from them. I said, oh my God, Mia. For real? You talk all that mess and you couldn't even give them a decent place to stay? So they all get their rooms. The rooms are named stupidly after stripper shows, like in movies like P-Valley, although I love P-Valley. But I was just like, this isn't like, none of these women are strippers. Like, are you saying this is the vibe? Like, y'all going to strip clubs while y'all down there? Hustlers, I think it was like Show Wives or something like that. What else? Players Club and like King of Diamonds or Queen of Diamonds. Those were all the names that were given, because everyone had like an envelope with their name on it. And that was supposed to tell them what room that they were supposed to go. Candace isn't there. Again, because she's trying to do music and like she's like busy doing music, but like her envelope is there. Ashley decides to take the envelope and put it in her pants, and like somebody said on Twitter, not Ashley putting the envelope next to her coochie that has cravings for nasty Michael. I said, ugh. So she runs down the steps, because we find out that Gisele and Robin are down in the basement in a little lounge area with 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. And they're upset that everyone keeps making them sleep in a room together. But y'all are like they said, conjoined at the hip. She pulls out the card. And they find out that Wendy and Candace are supposed to be sleeping in the same room. And the bed is small. Because it's like Karen's birthday, technically. They put Karen in on the main floor. She has a room to herself with a bathroom. Charisse is calling her people to get her out of there because she's in a room with no bathroom. And she was like, girl, I sleep naked and I snore. You gonna have to do better than this. And then Mia and Jacqueline are in like the master bedroom sharing a bed. So Wendy keeps asking Mia, like, girl, where is Candace staying? Like, where is Candace's room? And Mia's whole thing is like, why should I care? And like Wendy said, because you're the hostess, stupid. Like, that didn't make sense to me. Like, you're the hostess. Why would you not care? And so, like, we know, that's the thing. We know, like, Robin, Gisele, and Ashley know that Candace and Wendy are supposed to share a room. But I don't think that's going to happen because Sharice is adamant about getting up out of there. She called her travel agent. And her travel agent right now is looking for a hotel room for her because she's not staying in this. So they're all getting ready to leave for the night to go get dinner. And Peter calls or like FaceTimes Mia, and we find out that they kind of know each other. And then when Mia mentions Wendy's name, Peter's like, "Oh, I got beef with her." And I'm like, "What do you got beef with her for other than she don't want to be in your fraudulent business?" And that's where the episode ends. That's it. That's all. Remember to be bravely authentic and hop down them comments below. Deuces.